what's up, 180 Fit? All right, we're on our weight loss challenge, void of diet fads or diets or even hours at the gym exercising. Today we're just going to talk about knowing we are worth it. And this is a game changer for me. When I got this, I realized my worth. Like, it changed everything for me. And this is so important. Believe that you're worth it. Knowing you're worth it. Taking a weight loss journey requires sacrifice, energy, money, and time. A road back to ourselves, that authentic living takes time, and we have to understand first, before anything, that we are worth it. When we learn to embrace that, it makes it easier to maintain our mindset, and often it is the needs of others that derail our efforts. If you're like me, you're probably a giver, someone who looks out for other people but neglect yourself. My name is Jen Fleiken. Whether we met or haven't met, I'm glad you're here on this journey. I am a holistic empowerment coach, taking from a place of stuck to authentic thriving through my personal training, nutrition, and life coaching and educational experience. I believe in you, and I'm glad that you are here. Let's continue on our journey today. They need this, they need that. Your focus is broken. Suddenly your perspective has been clouded. Now is the time to write out a list of why you're worth it, and work hard and put your effort in it. It's time to know that you have value and you have worth. And I'm not going to sit here today and do a short one. I'm going to do a longer one today, because this is something we have to get right. So I need to empower you, because it's not something I can say that, but you can be like, okay, Jen, good. What do I do? How do I overcome self-doubt and start believing in myself? Like, people say that, but what do I do? So I put all kind of my journey here and put this together, and so I'm going to go through it, because I know one of the hardest things that some people will ever do is transform themselves from the person full of self-doubt to a self-assured person that believes in themselves. The truth is that no matter where you are in life right now, no matter how many mistakes you made, opportunities you passed up, what has happened in your life, you can overcome your self-doubt and start believing in yourself, not down the road, today. And this is true even if you've had a poor upbringing, even if you've never believed in yourself. It doesn't matter what color, what race, where you've come from. It doesn't matter any of that, because all of us, every human being in this world, is worth it. It's within your power, and it will change your life completely when you get this. So congratulations, because if you're here listening to this or watching this, and if you will soak it in and implement the suggestions, this is what I did, okay? Once you do, in just a short period of time, you'll start feeling better about yourself, feel more confident, successful, sexy, all those kind of things. And know that your future is bright. Doesn't matter what's going on right now in the world, what's happening right now. So let's get started. Let's learn how we can overcome self-doubt and believe in our true and who we are. Because there's only one of you. And it's time now that you embrace the you that you are. So what is self-doubt? Always important to define things. So the dictionary defines self-doubt as the lack of confidence in oneself and in one's abilities. This is a great definition, but doesn't fully demonstrate the problems caused by self-doubt and not believing in yourself. So I want you to maybe get out a journal right now and actually interact with this. This isn't meant just to be something that you do interact with. This is meant to be actionable steps. I'm all about practical and actionable. So think about these questions and journal about them. What are the dangers of self-doubt? What do you think? And how does your self-doubt affect your life right now? And where do you think self-doubt comes from? And most importantly, what are the things that you think you could do to overcome it? And then once you've done that, in the coming minutes, I'm going to actually answer those questions and more. Like I said, if it helps, try and make notes, especially if you read through something or listen through something that actually resonates with you the most. Start and reflect upon it. Because everyone has different issues for different reasons, and they have self-doubt for different reasons, different circumstances and problems in our own lives. So you're a unique person, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer, but there's several things that we can do that's going to actually help us out here. So let's talk about first the dangers of self-doubt and how it actually affects our life. I think that's important. And there are many dangers inherent in hanging on to self-doubt that we should be aware of. If you suffer from self-doubt, it's important to understand the type of damage you're doing to yourself if you continue to hang on to it. If it has affected your past and is affecting your present, it can be devastating for your future if we don't deal with it. And here's why, okay? So there's science behind this. Self-doubt, number one, damages motivation. Have you ever been so paralyzed in your life you felt like you couldn't move or couldn't make that next actionable step? When you don't think you can do much, or you don't trust yourself to do something right, fear can get in the way of everything. This can turn into a severe lack of motivation to do more than you have to just get by. Like, a lot of us is just stuck in just getting by. It can affect our entire life because You may have less than satisfying relationships. You may say, well, toxic people, or I just deserve the abuse, right? A job we hate, or just a life we don't enjoy very much. And self-doubt can actually cause procrastination. So if you don't think you know how to do things right, so this is where perfectionism comes in, then you may end up thinking you're a perfectionist, which is just the way to procrastinate and never finish anything at all, or finish it last minute, and then we don't do it well enough, and then we beat yourself up, which leads to more self-doubt, right, and self-hate. And this is how we set ourselves up for failure. No one is perfect, and perfection is not necessary to thrive in life. One of the best things I ever did was make my phrase for this year. One of them is consistent progress over perfectionism. And it has made me put things out there and do things that I would never have done. And I'm so thankful. It's freed me from being a perfectionist. Next, self-doubt leads to regret. Oh my gosh, how many missed opportunities have we had? How many times do we experience regret because we just didn't do something? When left unresolved, it can lead to chronic stress and even anxiety. And then this, in turn, will build upon itself and create even more self-doubt, which creates more regret and more self-anxiety, right? It's a vicious cycle. Self-doubt can cause defeatism. So if you allow your self-doubt to continue, you can start to become almost morbid in your belief that you cannot experience anything good or anything happy. It is essentially an acceptance of failure, and self-doubt stunts our self-improvement. So when you have no faith in yourself, it's hard to even think about self-improvement. If you think you have too much to improve because you can't do anything, and you may even think that you're a victim of circumstance to a point that you can't even truly achieve anything you try. And then self-doubt stifles inspiration. So when you don't believe in yourself, it's hard to get inspired to do anything new or even create anything new. Ending the self-doubt will bring out the creativity that's already inside you. You are abounding with creativity. Let me tell you that you just don't even realize you have. As you can see, and may have experienced yourself, self-doubt can be dangerous. And these are good reasons on their own to work towards overcoming self-doubt and learning to believe in ourselves. It's just you're precious. You're amazing, you're incredible. If only you could see what I see. And I don't even know you, but I know you're human. I know deep down inside you have a heart that beats, a heart that longs for more. So how do we identify where our self-doubt lies? We have to first identify, we have to know where it's coming from to defeat it, right? Knowing how you developed your self-doubt can sometimes help lead to recovering from that condition altogether. So you can build up your self-esteem by getting to the bottom of knowing how it happened. I had to figure this out because I had to figure out where a lot of my lies and my things were coming from. Some people didn't have self-esteem, at all, and then some people did have it and then they lost it. It just kind of, so maybe you didn't have it and then it built upon it, you didn't have it all the more. You tried to get it and then it was destroyed. However you determine what happened to you that caused your self-doubt, you'll be able to overcome it. It doesn't matter if it's something that developed over time or something you learned as a childhood. It's not meant for us to go sit back and cry over our childhood. It's meant to be accept it, realize what happened, feel that pain, and move on, deal with that emotion. You can work towards building your belief in yourself so you can overcome this self-doubt. If I could, trust me, you could. Let's talk first about limiting beliefs learned as a child. And all of these, I've been through all these, you guys. This is my story, okay? Unfortunately, many people learn to put off their dreams and limit their ideas due to well-meaning parents who sometimes they're not so well-meaning, perhaps even abusive, right? Who are also stuck in their own self-doubting lives. And that's why I say things have changed at a family level. That's why when A-Fit Fam is all about changing things at the family level. Because as family, we have to change other, we keep repeating the patterns. If you cannot envision anything different because of what you grew up in. This happens in a lot of communities where people are often born very poor, end up lacking the experience and education to see beyond their own lives to the possibilities that are outside this world. It's not usually the fact that parents, want to keep their kids from dreaming. They're just trying to be realistic. And when their child tells them about a big dream, travel the world and become a writer, they might react in fear because maybe it doesn't keep up with their social status class if they're high, if they're all doctors and stuff. Or they may react in fear and make such statements that may be statistically true, but that limit their child. So for an example, they might discourage the child from becoming a writer and telling them no one makes money writing. Or they may discourage the child from becoming anything that is above what they're used to due to the fear of the cost and due to the fear that their child really can't do it even if they try. But this is only due to their own lack of success and understanding of life, and we can't blame them. They're doing the best they can, but yet we can't limit ourselves because they did. Okay, and this rubs off on kids, right? That's why statistically, most people don't break out of the class they were born into, which I think is so sad. But the exciting thing to remember is some people do. Did you hear that? Some people do. And the reason they do is because they were to see and envision the possibilities and then take the action to see it through, okay? So it takes action. It takes that belief in yourself. But unless you have that belief in yourself, you're never going to get there. And then past experiences from bad relationships. How many of you had toxic relationships? You're all like, man, someone telling me I'd be, my last one, I'd be as poor as a church mouse forever. Like, that does something to you. Like, oh gosh, I have so many stories of that, And even if you used to have a good self-image and didn't suffer from one or much self-doubt, then suddenly or over time started to develop a self-doubt, kind of that it developed over time, or just enhanced and you feel even more stuck. It's possible you allowed past experience and bad relationships to get into your head, okay? It's all in the head, and create that self-doubting experience where you start telling yourself what they told you all the time. They don't even tell you because you just replay it. And this can be with a parent relationship, a friendship, a love interest, a spouse, even a child who is dragging you down and creating the self-doubt in your life. These relationships are sometimes defined as toxic relationships. And unfortunately, a toxic relationship can involve any type of relationship, from relatives to non-relatives. And these are dangerous. I had to get rid of all these. Like, I had so many. If you've been in a relationship where a person criticizes you, hear me out here right now. If you are in a relationship or been in a relationship where the person criticizes you and cuts you down with your ideas and tells you that it's impossible, or tells you about all that can go wrong, or if you are in an abusive relationship, they're abusive to you and your ideas, you may have learned your self-doubt from past relationships. If you are still in any of these relationships, it is time, not maybe time, it is time to end it. If you cannot, especially if you can't explain to the person you're going to do what you're going to do regardless of their opinion, due to a fear of abuse. Okay, I was there. I know how hard it is to make that step to get out of it, but you have to. Reach out to somebody, reach out to me. You have to make that change. Don't stay there. Then, of course, bad work environments and work and experiences, been there. At some point in our life, if we had a job turn, any of any kind turn bad, especially like a first-time job. I mean, it was a first-time job. It was one after 16 years that turned bad. I mean, I still don't understand what happened. But it can set us for a lifetime if we let it. And sadly, many people, especially those who take service-oriented jobs or even lower-paying jobs, end up with bad experiences, and it keeps them from ever believing there can be more. But even some higher-paying jobs can allow criticism to affect us so badly that we develop that fear of failure, which causes us not to take risks, right? Not be innovative, or not to speak our truth. And this ends up causing us to get bad job reviews then, right? And after a bad job review, the person may react badly to that and end up more stuck. And as you can see, this path can end up affecting a person just tremendously at the time and in their future if they aren't able to understand that some things, you need to hear this, bad things happen to good people, more so I think than the other way. We always can't explain it, but we can learn from it, or we can realize that it's not about us, it's about how we can help someone down the road in the future that needs our help, okay? But bad things happen to good people. If you can't learn from our mistakes or see a bigger picture to it, then we will get stuck in a cycle where we cannot grow, okay? And we cannot get out of that place because we're bitter and we're resentful. And next, a lack of life experiences. Sometimes a person can suffer from self-doubt simply due to lack of experiences. If you were overly sheltered as a child, sick, or had issues that cause you maybe not to have experiences in life, that can turn into fear and anxiety, or even other problems such as phobias that prevent us from stepping out of our comfort zone. So if you have no successful, or so-called you think you have no successful experiences to look back on, it can then be hard to even imagine success. Like you fear, like, what? I've never tried something, like, oh no. And if you have experienced only failure, it can be doubly hard to envision success. And if you've been awarded success all the time, if you've always been given a ribbon, and then for once you experience you don't, then it can be debilitating. Because that's why I'm not about performance oriented. Like, not everyone should get a ribbon, all those kind of things that we do to hinder our kids these days. But whatever the reason for these experiences, overprotective parents, illness, undiagnosed mental illness, being super shy, whatever is causing it needs to be addressed so you can start experiencing small success and know what it feels like. If you don't know what it feels like, it's going to be hard to ever move forward. And perhaps one of the things I hate the most that can actually really define what our level of, how much confidence we have in ourselves and belief in ourselves is our zip code. And this can be hard to accept, but where you are born makes a huge difference in how you view the world and your own place in it and potential in it, which is just sucked, man. It shouldn't be that way, but it is, and it sucks. If you're born, in this, wealthy family and stuff, you can still experience self-doubt. If you have controlling parents, you can only see that you have one way to success, such as being in the family business or being a doctor or something, even if you don't want to be. Maybe you're not bent that way. But most of the time, it's because you were born in either in a place that didn't have a lot of opportunities, or you were born to parents who were loving but are poor, or you're born into very abusive situations. And the sad fact is, most people do not escape the situation they were born into. But it doesn't mean that you can't. Hear me out. You can, okay? I'm here to testify that. It just means that due to a lack of vision, most people only know what's inside their own small portion of the world. You have to open up your eyes to the possibilities out there around you in order to see it, okay? And just by listening to this or watching this, no matter what your situation is, you're getting your eyes open to the possibilities in the world. So this is a great step to escape your circumstances. I like to travel the world and go somewhere new every year because it opens my eyes to the possibilities out there. I put myself in those circumstances and situations so I could dream bigger and be bigger. There's so many possibilities there for you. To even escape the circumstances and make the most of your life in a way that makes you thrive. There's a great, that's a great thing, and it can make such a difference. Another thing that we need to look at is undiagnosed anxiety. I was someone with huge anxiety to the point where it's crippling and to the point where I'd be paralyzed by it. And anxiety, once I started researching it, actually can be a symptom of self-doubt, which I find interesting. And it goes in this vicious circle. So self-doubt can cause anxiety, and if you can't find a way to address the anxiety, you may be able to lessen the effects of self-doubt. But many people have anxiety, describe it as that feeling of bad feeling of a million butterflies in your stomachs when you think of doing something that makes you uncomfortable. And often this feeling is so bad that the person suffers from because they're panic attacks, which can be debilitating. That's where you feel so stuck and paralyzed. Some people don't get the panic attacks, but they don't push themselves beyond the feeling of butterflies that they experience as unpleasant. But this is interesting because there's actually a theory here that I think is worth saying. Adrenaline junkies see the same feeling, but they see it's something positive, and they seek it out. Whereas a person with anxiety uses the same feeling to stop doing anything that causes them feeling. It's that perspective. Interesting is that perspective. It's either a prison, keeps us stuck, fearful, or it's our power causes us to action, right? To do something about it. So if you suspect that maybe you have anxiety, it can be hard to even, get the help you need. I know for me it was shameful. I didn't want to go see the doctor. It caused me even more anxiety to even think about that. You fear that they think that you'll be silly or tell you that, you don't have anxiety, it's not bad enough. But you can get help with your anxiety. Seek it out from your doctor. Go to your doctor. Find out, because although I'm not someone who says medicine is the cure, I think it can be a path to the cure for us. And sometimes anxiety can be simply a vitamin deficiency. So have your doctor take some blood tests, and they may even recommend that you see a psychiatrist who can prescribe those short-term medications just to help you get past this part. So you can start experiencing the success and be freed from that inhibiting anxiety that you feel. It's important not to allow this to cause you to stay stuck in your current patterns. The healthiest people seek out help when they need it. And if you don't want medication, there's always natural ways to talk to some people. Get professional help. Of course, we have established patterns too. Often people experience self-doubt simply due to the patterns they established since childhood, right? Or someplace in childhood send them down a bad path of experiencing failure, or event, maybe something that happened that was traumatic. For example, everything could be going fine and dandy. Then something traumatic happens. Maybe it's a car accident, a death in the family. Maybe it's a loss of a job. COVID-19 happens, okay? And this may start leading us down a path of repeating bad patterns or accepting that our life is just going to be full of failure, and we don't want to go anywhere. We don't want to do anything. We start being paralyzed. However, this is something we can overcome by changing our patterns, okay? And this process requires that we are into perspective. Is that brutal honesty that I talk about all the time. We have to look within, you guys. Change starts here, okay? Just like talking to the man in the mirror. You should talk to the man in the mirror every morning, okay? Change with you. So if we're into perspective enough to be able to see the truth about ourselves, our choices, our relationships, and more about our lives, it can be what we're the door to freedom. Because then we can we'll be able to take the decisive actions that will help us experience success in our life that we can build on as we overcome our self-doubt and start believing in ourselves ultimately. So even now, there are many reasons that you should believe in yourself, okay? Even regardless of anything. Hear me out. You should believe in yourself regardless of anything. And once you start realizing that, this part is simple to start putting into practice. So let's talk about reasons to believe in yourself. What do you say? Okay, let's go over some reasons that you should believe in yourself. So you can, right now, combat and rid yourself of self-doubt. The fact is, this something must come from within. Okay, my happiness, my joy, my peace has to come from within. It can't come from other people. How do you get that right? The idea that if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will is very true. It might seem harsh, but it's the fact that you need to deal with in your quest to develop your new belief in yourself. I had to do this. Okay? Take in this information I'm going to give you. Really believe it. It's true of everyone, and you are included in this. You were born with everything you need to experience and have success in life. Your success may look different than someone else's, and that is okay. We're different. You should be the one who is happy living your life because it's your life to live, and we only have one shot at it. And nobody can live your life but you. Nobody can do the things but you. It's up to you. You deserve it, my friend. You really do deserve to have a happy, full, and successful life that you enjoy. You can and you should wake up each and every day ready and psyched to continue each day, no matter what it brings. And I don't care if COVID's happening, I don't care if the world seems like it's falling apart. You deserve to feel good about yourself and rid yourself of self-doubt. You deserve to live a life that invigorates you regardless of your circumstances, even if you're experiencing challenges that no one else can relate to. Okay, I'm not going to say I'm walking your shoes because I'm not. But you can still overcome them and live a fulfilling life. I did and know you can. If I did, I know you can. You know, you have current relationships. Look at the relationships you have now in your life. They are successful. Not the ones that are toxic. The ones that make you happy. The ones that are supportive. The ones where you are supportive and helpful and make you feel needed, because it needs to go both ways. They likely believe in you and you believe in them, right? Imagine if you told these people how you feel inside about yourself. When they support you and try to talk you out of your self-doubt, when they join you in this journey, don't walk it alone, my friend. I'm here. Check the show notes. Reach out to me. Get that call in. That you get a free 60-minute empowerment call. Let's talk. You know, where are you right now? If you're struggling, think about it. You've survived this long. You've done something right. If you're alive and you're able to listen to this, watch this, that's a positive. We can focus on that if nothing else. Focus on what we have right now in the moment that's good. And that is one reason to believe in yourself. You made it through some storms, I'm sure, my friend. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. You've had some prior success. You know, you've been successful at something. You managed to get up this morning. That's success. Maybe you did well in a subject school or a sport or something. That's success. You got a driver's license. Success. Even you get down to the smallest success right now, okay? That's okay. You don't have to have a huge success to draw on and know what it feels like to be successful at something. And listen closely. You're just as good as others. Remember, you're just as good as someone else and deserve the life that you want to live. No one deserves it more than you do. No one is more special. And for that fact, neither are you. But even though everyone is basically the same in that way, no matter what race, color, where we come from, how much money we make, we all have different ideas as constitutes what success is. And that too is just as good as the next person's idea of success. We're each unique, but we're all deserving of it. The truth is, if you look from a distance at the problems in your life and put them into relation to that of the world, how important are they really? Have you made some bad choices that result in going through a rough patch emotionally, financially, spiritually? That's okay. How do we grow in life? Through the comforts? No, through the challenges. You grow in life through your experiences. It really is how you react to these struggles, that prison or that power, that make us who we are. So I think now it's important to dig a little deeper into this fact of how we overcome those negative thoughts. Because it's that story we tell ourselves that really determines how we act out on our behaviors. And to overcome self-doubt, we really have to deal with those negative thoughts. So it is possible to train our mind to overcome and turn negative thoughts around. And we kind of hit this on briefly in a prior lesson, but I think it's important to go back and dig deeper. So let's look into the strategies to turn negative thoughts into positive thoughts, or at least stop the negative thoughts faster than when they start, okay? So number one, we can first change our focus. So, where attention flows, where focus is, attention flows, or something about wherever your focus is, that's where your energy flows. Where focus is, energy flows. It's a Tony Robbins quote. Might have butchered it there, but it's close. When you encounter a negative situation, try to immediately turn it into something positive by focusing on what you can learn about the situation. Even though you learn is you don't want to do it again. How many times have we done something going, I'm not doing that again. Lesson learned. Hey, know not to do it again. And really, another thing is, so many times we think about things and we care about things, but we worry what other people think, but most people don't even care. We're self-centered humans. The truth is, even if you say the wrong thing, wear the wrong dress, are embarrassed about, the way that you talk. I mean, hey, I say words wrong, but I just am so self-conscious about it. People really don't care. If you can develop the ability to even laugh at the situation, that's better. Teach first grade for a while. You'll learn to laugh at yourself real quick. Most people don't have the time to think about your bad choices if it doesn't directly affect them. And ask others, are you being too serious? Am I being too serious? Sometimes it's easy to take something seriously when it shouldn't be. Does it really matter that you slipped and fell when you meant to sit in your seat at work? Okay, does it really matter that you put on the wrong shoes? Again, does it really matter how I pronounce some words? Did I hyper focus on one bad mistake or one thing that you did or one bad moment, make it a bad day? And then replace the negativity in your life. People, places, things. It's time for your life to get rid of the negative. Get rid of that toxic. I had to do a complete cleanse of my life recently. I had to get rid of everybody. Everything. Because it was toxic. I was around toxic. Sometimes negative people attract negative people. If you want to be more positive, try to find new friends, new activities, and things that make you feel happy and positive. I'm putting myself intentionally in circumstances, in situations with people I want to be like, who take me to that next level of self. And don't make decisions even bigger than they are. Sometimes we cause anxiety and self, like, oh, I have to choose which dinner place. What if they don't approve the dinner place they're asking me? Well, if they're asking you, right? We can play with self-doubt and make trouble even making decisions, even just what we wear, what to eat, what to buy. What I did when I was working, teaching, I pulled out my clothes for the entire week and I didn't have an option. Like, I looked like I went to the gym to work out, so I had to wear that. But I wouldn't give myself an option even if I was at home. Ask yourself whether this is going to really matter in a month or 6 months, or even 5 years from now. That way you'll be able to determine whether the situation is serious and you need more time to spend on it, or you just need to make a choice and get on with it. And then, of course, talk to someone. Now. Make sure that's the right person you're talking to. Positive doesn't make you feel bad about yourself. Or talk to, there's us, life coaches, empowerment coaches, transformation coaches, like me, talk to me. Send it to ask someone if you're overacting, especially if you can find someone who understands how you're trying to change your life, and get over self-doubt. That's why professionals are here, because we're outside of the circle and we've been trained to actually help you out there. So even someone from a support group, can help there too. Sometimes we just simply need to stop thinking about it, though. Sometimes negative thoughts can ruin the experience we're living. It's better to try to shelve the negative thoughts during an experience and try to really live in the moment. Join me for my yoga classes each evening at 9 or 9:30. They vary depending on the night, but do them live on YouTube. And, I talked about help us be mindful and stuff and be present. And this helped me immensely, because being in the present enables me to truly realize that the things that aren't negative at all is not as much as my mind trying to tell me. I look back on it and I'll be able to pick out a lot more positive in my life, because I intentionally focus during the day on being mindful and having those positive and reflecting at the end of the day on what's positive. And I walk you through that on how to do that during my yoga time at the end. Then I can't exercise, you guys. Let's face it, we all have a lot of extra energy, adrenaline, that needs to be burned off. Some people realize this, and that's why they get moving. Whether you start to experience negative thoughts, instead of letting yourself do it, get some exercise. After a bad day, I go for a run, man. I get out on, not like pounding something out on the pavement, okay? Boxing out, even go for a walk, ride your bike, put on some music, good music, and dance around and release it and get your mind in a different place. Music can change your state. Anything that you can do is a good thing instead of thinking of the negative. And then realize when it's fear, okay? Sometimes negativity will poke its head in our lives when we're doing something a little bit uncomfortable and pushing outside our comfort zone a bit. There's a great quote by George Adair, I think you said, Addair. And he says everything you ever want is on the other side of fear. So if you remind yourself of this quote, I have it right here in my office, like it's right in front of me, and I look at it all the time. Whenever I'm like, have anxiety or fear, I look at it, I'm like, that's right, I'm going to my next level of self. Put that in front of you, and it helps overcome it. It'll help a lot with overcoming negative thoughts if you put these suggestions in action. These are things that I've done and that I do, okay? You make it with some of your own too. The point is you want to turn negative thoughts around so you can instead experience positivity in your day. That way you don't get stuck in a pattern of self-doubt. So as we continue on, let's look at now the strategies for dealing with self-doubt, okay? So it's important to know how we can deal with self-doubt when it happens. Like I'm all about practical. Remember, like I want you to have tools to do right now. So be assured that even the most successful person works to overcome self-doubt at times. And feeling self-doubt is not the problem. Letting self-doubt control us, make our decisions, rule our life, paralyze us, make us not do things we should, stay in toxic relationship. That's the problem. I think we need to learn that, realize we are not alone. Everyone experiences self-doubt. Whether you have friends, family, or anyone to talk to right now about this. You might feel alone in your feelings. I get that, been there, am there a lot of times. It's how you react that matters, your prison or your power. Once again, you can find others to be there with you. Join a Facebook group. Reach out to me. Join one of my communities. Find something, forums. I put myself in situations where now I'm part of different groups where I can reach out to people. Like I'm learning to do that. It wasn't very natural for me. It wasn't something I always done. I'm learning. Keep a journal. You guys have heard me talk about journals before, and so one way to overcome self-doubt is to keep a journal. It reminds us. It helps us reflect. Sometimes we just need to get our thoughts and stuff out on paper. And a lot of times once we get it out, it's not as big as it used to be. And plus, a journal can help us see where we've been and remind us of the successes and where we've learned and see things that we've actually accomplished in life and kind of lay out a plan. And sometimes it's easier to talk about too after you've written out. Something else here is like stop comparing yourself with others. The worst thing we can do is compare ourselves with others, and I do this all the time. This just breeds more self-doubt and even jealousy. The truth is, honestly, we have no idea what other people have gone through to be where they are. And even if they're really being honest about it, right? Who knows on social media? How many people are actually being honest? You only know the truth about your own situation. I have something when you walk in the door that says, don't judge my story by the chapter you walked in on. Well, that goes the other way too. I can't judge other people's story by the chapter that I walked in on theirs. And then one of the pillars of the 180 Fit Body Mind Method, gratitude. There's something to be grateful for in every single moment, even the worst situations. There's a lesson or a reason that we can help other people. People have overcome the worst things. Then we can remember death, crime, illness, all have one thing in common. The ones who really overcome this stuff and doesn't let it inhibit them is the ability to see the positive in it, or at least be grateful that they knew the person, loved the person, or something good. Okay, there's something good in everything, in every day, in every moment. So you have to reach for it, but it's there. And then focus on those micro habits. Focus on the small things you can accomplish and start experiencing success. So start setting small goals or small micro habits that allow you to experience immediate success. So it depends on where you are in your journey, but it could be as small as getting up in the morning. Maybe you're trying to figure out you're going to get up and start going back to work again, right? Going to the store. It might be something as getting up and okay, I'm going to go start walk for 5 minutes. 5 minutes notice. I'm going to start applying for new jobs. Note, I said applying for a new job is not getting one. Okay, small things, and that just helps you you can build upon that. You feel success. Not that I'm going to lose 10 pounds. I'm going to just do something today that helps me do that, right? And look at the people you're around. Are you surrounding yourself with positive people? Are you around those toxic people? And so you can cut out all those toxic people. Seek out the people that you want to become and be like, okay? Find them. You can find them. I'm looking for them. Sometimes it takes money. It takes time. You have to take putting yourself out there. But I want to be the best person I can be, and I can't be if other people are pulling me down. And then something new I've started to do is I call it, when I'm going through an obstacle or hard time, I say, respect the obstacle, okay? So we all have obstacles that prevent us from experiencing full joy or push us back into self-doubt. But the way I've learned to deal with it is that I have learned to respect the obstacle. I have something to learn or gain from the obstacle, or something that I'm going to be able to help someone else down the road, or it's putting me in a new direction, a new path. Find a way to respect your obstacle and learn that the obstacle is here for a reason. It's taking me to my next best self, taking me to the way I can help someone else in the future, or changing my course for a reason. And when we do that, we can learn from our mistakes, okay? So we learn not to beat ourselves up. We learn to accept it and learn from it. Sometimes it helps us to write down those experiences with the focus of what we learned and how we'll do it differently if it comes up again. Keep track of those things, because a lot of times we don't remember them. We're in the midst of them. And then one of the most important things is know when to walk away. There are times when giving up is not failure. There are times when in life where you try something, but it's just not working for you, and it's time to walk away. That may be business choice, a relationship, something else entirely. If you're causing you too much stress that you cannot overcome, it's time to move on. I had to make the choice to leave my job that I never thought I'd leave. But I saw the writing on the wall. It was time. It was one of the best decisions I made. Leave those relationships. Leave those things. And we have to get used to being uncomfortable. Okay? One thing to realize about life is that uncomfortable is the only way to grow. If we don't experience discomfort, then we're not growing. It doesn't mean that you have to be in mental, physical, spiritual torture. It's just the feeling of being a little bit fearful, uncomfortable, unsure. Okay, it's natural. Put things into perspective. It's our power or a prison. Okay? Make it your power. And assess your strengths and weaknesses. So many times we've heard the phrase of deal with your weaknesses, make them stronger, make them your strengths. Heck no. Are you kidding me? There's other people who can do my weaknesses, okay? One day when I continue on my business, someone else is going to run my finances and paperwork and stuff and marketing, because I don't like doing that stuff. That's not my strength. I do it for now. I have to do it for now, do the best I can. If you're trying to lose weight and you're a bad cook, or you don't want to learn how to cook, get meal kits. You have someone else do it if you have the ability. Okay, there's a way around our weaknesses, and if we stop focusing on our weaknesses and focus everything on our strengths, what happens? We feel more successful, right? A lot of times we fail because we're focused on things that we weren't naturally made to do. There's other people gifted at it. Let them do it. And of course, get accountability. Accountability, when we have to answer someone that we did something, right? It helps. That's a lot of what I do as a life coach, as a personal trainer, and nutritionist. A lot of my job is just accountability, okay? Just make sure that you do what you say you're going to do. When I have to give accountability every Monday on the 3 action steps in my personal life and my business life, you better believe the week before when I was thinking about maybe not doing it, pushing it aside, man, what was I going to do? Because I knew I was going to say whether or not I did it, okay? That accountability is true and right. And have a friend or have someone like me, be on you about it. But make sure you have a friend who's true and right, because the thing with friends is a lot of times they'll give you a way out. These strategies dealing with work, okay? These strategies work because I lived them and I've helped others live them. But you have to actually implement them. The issues with self-doubt are so serious they can make you stuck in life that you don't want, and aren't loving your life. And this can lead to anxiety, depression, and can spiral into a very bad situation. So if you want to experience true joy, believe in yourself, and get rid of this debilitating self-doubt you've experiencing, start implementing now. Don't delay. Don't make excuses. Do it now. You have actionable steps. And you know what? I'm going to give you exactly what to do right now. Yes. So there's no guesswork. Now that we have all that information, you're probably wondering, Jen, that was a lot. Where do I start? So for this last section, let's get organized. And let's get ready for change. If you really want to overcome self-doubt and start believing in yourself, it will take action on your part. So let's get started. First, we need to pinpoint where our self-doubt began. So using the information you've already learned, it's important, go back and replay. It's important to figure out where that self-doubt began. It may be from childhood, in which cases it may take some professional help, okay, to overcome it. It may be something you fell into due to other issues that need to be addressed or identified. And if you're in a toxic relationship, you have to deal with that first, okay? You might have to leave that relationship. You might have some work to do before you can move on. And that's okay. There's no shame in that. Just do something about it. Make the call. Reach out to me today. Reach out to your doctor. Make a plan to get out of that toxic relationship. Whatever you have to do it. Okay? First, you have to be brutally honest with yourself to know where it comes from. And then from there, look at your strengths and your weaknesses, okay? And put down on paper and look at it. Like, write down, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, and then figure out, Dean Garcia's because you're not to-do list. Okay, I love it. What are things that you shouldn't be doing that you can outsource to other people that you're trying to do that's causing you to feel like a failure because you're not doing it, and like it's not your gifting? Or what are those things that you might have to do for now but you can outsource later? Highlight those. Like, okay, I have to do this now because I have money or whatever, but later on. And then get a physical from your doctor. This is important because sometimes that self-doubt is caused by anxiety, and sometimes anxiety can be a vitamin deficiency, okay? So get a vitamin panel and tell your doctor that you're experiencing anxiety. They'll let you know which vitamins, you're low on, and once they test for them. And they'll be sure to get you the information that you need. And that's empowering because then you know whether or not it's just simply, could you imagine if you just had to take a few different vitamins, or you just had to eat a few different foods and you'd be fine? And of course, I'm going to stress this because this, our mind, right? Mind and body all relate. So if we need to be feeling our body right and exercise, so eat right and exercise. It may seem silly, but eating right and exercising can be one of the first successes. And, once you start feeling better about yourself, have more energy, right? You start working out more, you start moving more. So if we nourish our bodies, right, and make those good choices, how do you feel after you've ate all those donuts or ate that bad meal and you shouldn't have, right? How do you feel? You don't feel good about yourself. You don't feel good physically. We start nourishing our bodies for energy, and then through that we have energy to actually move. What happens? If we just start working a little bit every day, if we just do 5 minutes, think about what that it builds upon yourself. You feel good about yourself, you feel sexier, feel happier. And once again, buy a journal. Get out some paper. There is something about writing it down, okay? Number one, if you're doing it at night, you don't have that blue light. We don't want that. But really, reflect upon your day in the morning. I do this. I do journal every morning. I do a brain dump, because others, it controls your mind, right? And I do it in the evening too. Stay with the blue light, causes anxiety and insomnia, so we don't want to do more, okay? And then, of course, seek out that help, whether you have a friend, or you seek out a professional from a counselor or someone like me. I'm going to put my stuff in the show notes, so please make sure you read through, go grab your 60 free minutes with me. I can help you lay out a plan, whether or not you do more coaching with me or not. We get you set on the right track during those 60 minutes. We can assess and help you determine what you need to do to be successful. And you can actually have an outline and a plan, but, you have to do it. It doesn't matter what anyone else uses. It doesn't matter what I say. It only matters what is working for you to build on your belief and your let go of your self-doubt. But you have to make those steps. And I know they're scary, but you can be brave. And then, of course, lastly, one last one, make small goals. So those small goals really are just our small habits, or those micro habits in each day. So I want you to think of something today you can do that's small and doable, they'll give you immediate success, that you could actually do and feel that success. So maybe even believe in yourself. Maybe you're somebody going to put some quotes on the wall, some affirmations. Say, I believe in myself. Start repeating that. Make your mind start playing it over and over again. Replace those tapes. And then, of course, here's the big one. Implement. You can learn all you want to learn about ridding yourself of self-doubt and building your belief in yourself, but if you don't act or do something, in other words, implement, you won't see the success you desire. So people buy gym memberships, but they don't implement. They get nutrition plans, but they don't implement. Even if it's the smallest thing, like watching this, finding a group, calling me, something small can lead to big results. So my hope is that you've learned a lot of information that you're going to be able to build upon for your self-image, to get rid of your self-doubt and move you towards believing yourself again quickly. I don't want you to stumble and take as many years as I did. Remember that nothing is gained without putting one step in front of the other. As long as we keep going, we're not stuck. Don't get stuck in that prison. But also remember that you are capable. You can do it, and you deserve to do it. You are worth it, my friend. Stop letting others determine who you are and what you should believe about yourself. I did for way too long. I wasted way too many years letting other people decide who I was going to be. Comparing myself, limiting myself. So much time wasted. I'm here to help you so you don't. Stop implementing, re-listen to it, reach out to me. We'll go through and we'll make up a plan for you in less than 60 minutes. We'll get it done so you can move. Okay? The 60 minutes free. Because I truly want to help you. I don't want anyone to have a reason not to do this. Wherever you're struggling, wherever is limiting you, whatever it is, there's hope for you. Trust me. If I could, someone like me, okay, who dealt with a lot of baggage in life, a lot of insecurity, a lot of fear, a lot of self-hate, a lot of dark nights, can find a better way. So can you. I believe in you. You're worth it. I don't care who you are. Maybe no one's ever told you that you're worth it. Someone is today. You, my friend, are worth it. You deserve to live that life that you've dreamed of. Regardless of what anyone else thinks or says, they don't know your story. They don't know you. They just know the chapter. And sometimes they even know the chapter. They know the page. That word they read. I don't care. I don't care about any of it. All I know is I believe in you. Go. Be brave. Kind. Live authentically and always shine. Remember, you're just one habit away. Reach out to me if you need anything at all. I'm here for you, my friend. Until next time. Go live out day 4.